What's going on, everybody? We're about to get started in a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching the live stream. If you're watching the live stream or the replay, do me a favor. Before you do anything, hit the like button. It'll let YouTube know that this is a video worth sharing out. Other people have an opportunity to watch this video. So please hit that like button. And shout out to everybody watching on Instagram Live, to everybody watching on YouTube and watching on Facebook and Twitter, X. Is it Twitter? Is it X? Either way. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're about to get into this topic of discussion, and I may even give you an opportunity to join the discussion by calling in. All right, so make sure you guys stay tuned. It's going to be a lively conversation. It's a conversation that maybe some men don't want to talk about and some women don't want to hear, but it's all good. All right, we're about to get started. Yo, and if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor. Click down below. You see a couple of merch items for sale. You can support the channel that way. You can also get this shirt, which a lot of you guys have been picking up. So if you guys got this shirt, please, this hoodie, but did you pray about it? Tag me in the picture on Instagram. I greatly appreciate it. All right. We're about to get started. Got 13 seconds left. All right. And if you guys can hear me in the chat, whether you're watching on any other platforms, put a 1. If you hear the music, put a 1. All right. Because we're about to get started. It's going to be a lively conversation today. All right. A lively conversation. What's going on? You are now tuned into Harrison Family Values. I am your host, Dre. This is the podcast. At least trying to make it into a podcast. All right, you guys can hear me. Thank you so much. My brother Dapo is in the building. What's going on? I see you're Smelly, one of my students, old students. Hi, how you doing? Oh, yeah. DJ Mr. E, what up? All right, we got a couple of you guys in the chat. All right, and Bad Girls Jazz. What's going on, sis? I see you starting to upload more on YouTube, so keep it up, sis. Keep it up. All right, guys. You see the title, you see the thumbnail. We're about to get into this conversation. All right, but before we go any further, I need you guys to do me a favor. Smash that like button. Whether you're watching the replay, whether you're watching it live right now with me, please do me a favor and smash that like button. What it does is it tells YouTube and the YouTube algorithm that this is a video worth sharing out, and it'll allow other people to be able to see this on their homepage, click it, or opportunity to click it and watch it, okay? So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please do that for me right now. This is the first time I'm streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram at the same time. And it's giving me a warning on YouTube because I'm probably streaming to so many different platforms, but I don't care. We're going to make it happen. What's going on, King Josh? Thank you so much for liking this video. Greatly appreciate it. You on YouTube. And light up the chat, okay? Light up the chat. I want to hear you. I want to read your comments live. I want to see what you guys think, okay? And we got multiple camera angles, all right? So it's going to be difficult for me because I got to be right in the middle because Instagram is like, you know how Instagram does it. And I got to look here too and make sure I'm like dead center. So, 1 second. So that I know you guys can see me. All right, you guys can definitely see me here. All right, so let's get started. All right. Now, this is not going to be an easy conversation. It really isn't. Because there's a lot of people out there, specifically women, who believe that men are afraid of marriage. But what if I tell you that that's probably not the case for the majority of men? They're not afraid of marriage. Most men, good men, want to be married. They want a family. They want a wife. They want to be able to see their kids grow up in a two-parent home, a two-parent household, and raise their family. They want to be able to go to the games and the recitals. They want to be able to walk their daughter down the aisle, or spend the $40,000 to $50,000 for their quinceañera or their sweet 16. They want that, but they have a concern. It's a genuine concern. And some of you guys think it's because they're afraid of getting married. It's not the case. Not the case. Good men will find a woman, will vet a woman, and spend, let me say it like this, and let me know in the chat if you guys agree or disagree. Let me look at this camera here. A good man will find a woman. They'll find a woman, and when a man finally commits to a woman He's committed. He's committed. He's in. He is in. There is no stopping him. He's going to be committed in this. What's going on, Hazel? Hey, what's going on? He's committed. He is going to be committed to the marriage, to the relationship. Okay, and he's going to probably rock out with whatever challenges that come in to the marriage. That's how men are designed. Okay, especially if they genuinely make a commitment. They committed, they're in, no matter what. Things get hard. And I think a lot of it has to do with how competitive men are, how they are driven to succeed in life and even in their relationships. Men want to succeed in their relationships. They really, if they made a commitment, they want their commitment to bring out fruition of family, of a happy marriage and things like that. For the most part, I can't speak for all men. I can say that for the majority of the men, they have this thing inside them where they want to fight. They want to make sure that whatever it is that they get into, they win at, which is why men dominate in sports. I'm not saying women don't. I'm just saying for this sake of the conversation, men dominate in sports because they want to win. And if there's no perfection there, they're not perfect, it's all good. They're going to keep fighting, trying to improve. Okay? And that's how men enter into relationships, especially after they make a commitment to a woman. Once they make that commitment, they are in this situation. They're in this marriage. Do or die. Okay? And you guys hear the stats about a little over 75% of women initiate divorce. Now, some of you red pillars will be like, yeah, see, it's this is, you get me, Dre. Stop. So I am also a marriage counselor, a pre-marriage counselor. I believe in family. I believe in marriage. I don't really support divorce despite being a divorcee. I'm not an advocate of divorce. All right. I believe that people should be able to work things out, but not everything, not in every case can it be worked out. I understand that. But here's my thing, right? You guys will flaunt the fact that the majority of women initiate divorce. But what you don't bring into the conversation are the variables behind why women tend to choose divorce. Now, I understand, but when we have this conversation, we have to also discuss what led women to divorce a man, because it's not just one reason. You guys will spit this stat out as if there's only one reason why women get divorced, okay? I do agree that divorce has become a very easy thing to achieve. For crying out loud, they have this thing called no-fault divorce. And then in a no-fault divorce, somebody's still getting money. So here's my thing about the no-fault divorce, and I'm going to say this. So you guys may not agree with me. I don't care. I mean, I care. This is my opinion. You can't change my mind. If a couple goes into a no-fault divorce, there should be nothing they should go in and whatever you came into marriage with, you leave with, okay, at a no-fault divorce, okay? If you can't prove infidelity, abuse, things like that, and you just, and you coming into the divorce and saying, oh, we have irreconcilable differences, right? You get nothing. You come into the marriage, what you get with, what you came in with. That's my opinion. I'm not a judge. I just think that's fair, all right? Because you can get into a marriage with somebody who has billions of dollars, cite irreconcilable differences, and then get half of what they got, and you've done nothing to help build that empire. I think that's wrong. But nonetheless, over 75% of women initiate divorce. And there's reasons behind that. So I'm not here to be like, there's reason behind that. But now, with that, it leads me to the topic of discussion. Are men really afraid of marriage? And I beg to say, no. They're not afraid of marriage. In fact, the majority of good men out there want marriage. If they want to bring a family in and children, they want to bring it in with their wife. They do. They want to get married, have children, raise a family for the most part. There are some bozos out there that will sleep with anything walking, impregnate them, beg for them to terminate it. Like the situation with Anthony Edwards. Man, we got to do better. We got to protect our most valuable commodity in the relationship space, and stop giving your stuff to every single female out there, because not every female deserves it. I think men devalue their power intimately by willingly giving themselves up to every woman that comes around. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion. All right. But men got to do a better job. All right. Because here's the thing, right? You guys will get intimate with a woman that you don't even want to have a child with and they get pregnant. You get mad at them. You get mad at them. Blame them. Blame them for getting pregnant. Like, how do you blame a woman for getting pregnant after you did the deed? It's like, guys, come on. Come on. Back to the topic. You guys out there, here's the thing. It actually goes into it because men would think of intimacy as simply recreational, right? Really don't want to have a child with somebody that they're just having fun with. Okay? But if they want a child, they're probably going to want to marry this woman because they've committed themselves to this woman. And they are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that the marriage and the family stays intact. Okay? So I am going to say, and ladies, you may not like this, men are probably more committed in marriages committed to the actual institution of marriage than the woman. Because we know some guys will step out of the marriage, and that's a lack of commitment and loyalty in the marriage. But they're willing to work things out regardless. Where some ladies out there, not all, some ladies are willing to just throw the marriage away just because he may have, had a phone conversation with another woman instead of dealing with, well, what is it about me that's causing him to want to have the attention from another woman? That's called maturity. That's not gaslighting. That's not saying, you're putting the blame on the woman for the man going outside. No. I'm saying that in marriage, both the woman, the wife, and the husband have needs. They have needs. And if my wife is going outside the marriage to meet her a specific need, it's probably because I'm not meeting it. And I got to be mature enough to have that conversation, especially if I want my marriage to work, right? For most men, they would accept almost anything except for probably the infidelity part of it. Okay, but even then, there's some things tying them, finances, to the marriage. Kids to the marriage, okay? Especially if there's kids in the mix, fathers are not going to just up and leave for the most part. There are anomalies. It happens, so I'm not saying that it does not happen. But for the most part, good men, committed men, will stay committed to the marriage. Will even stay in the house until the kids grow up and leave, which I don't agree with, and I'm going to talk about that at a later stream. But, good point. A lot of people do not communicate. That's right, Hazel. And don't know how it's all skill. Yeah. So, and I see you, Gracious Greatness. Thank you so much for watching from England. We are international. All right. So back to what I was saying. So most men will stay committed in the marriage. So the marriage is not something that they fear. Even, and they know, most men go into marriage knowing that everything's not going to be perfect also. They know that. They know there's going to be arguments. They know there's going to be fights. They know that. I think, and in my conversations with women and couples that I have counseled, a lot of women tend to go into marriage with a Disney princess type of attitude, believing that everything should be perfect, everything should be peachy and flowers and roses and gardens and traveling and no issues at all, and that they should be spoiled. No, that's not how marriage actually works. And the reason why a lot of you women, and I'm going to say this, a lot of you women are so quick to want to get a divorce is because you have believed the modern marriage hype that it's all about you, and it's not all about you. It's about the family. And husbands tend to go into marriage understanding that this marriage is about building a family and not just trying to keep a happy wife, happy life. Okay? It's not even happy spouse, happy house. It's just, guys, work together to make sure that the marriage stays intact and do what you need to do to make sure that your marriage is a success. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay? But let me continue. So, men aren't really afraid of marriage. They want to be able to see their grandkids and their great-grandkids. They want to be able to go to family functions with their wife and kids. Crying out loud, they want at Christmas time to take Christmas photos. when everybody's matching plaid shirts and denim with the white sneakers with the foliage in the background or the fake snow or whatever, with Fido or whatever you name your dogs. We want that. We really do. A lot of us men want that. It's not the marriage that we're afraid of. You know what it is? It's the divorce. Men don't want to fail. If they get married, they want it to be a success. And you know what a divorce indicates? It indicates failure. And we don't want to fail. We're not afraid of marriage. We're afraid of divorce. And now the law has made it so easy for a wife to be unhappy in the marriage, for there to be some issues that could be worked out, and for a wife to just say, you know what, I want out of this marriage. I am going to cite irreconcilable differences. I'm going to take half of everything. Plus, after I take half of everything, you're going to pay me child support. After you pay me child support, you're going to pay me alimony until I get married again. And I'm not going to get married again. I'm going to, and this is the worst case scenario, I'm going to have a boyfriend, live with the boyfriend, take your alimony, right, and fund my lifestyle, and live with my boyfriend for as long as I can until the alimony runs out. Men aren't afraid of marriage. They want family. They want a wife. They want to be able to live life together with somebody. They want somebody that they can go into the trenches of life with. But today, a lot of men are reluctant to get married because the law makes it so easy for a woman or a man to get a divorce and everything that they worked hard. Because here's the thing. The husband, right, will endure a lot in a marriage, unhappiness, like all of that, right? Like depression, all that. Still work hard for his family because he knows that he's making a sacrifice for the family. It's not always about his happiness. He should be happy. He should be respected. He should be valued. He should feel appreciated because if he's going to be out there breaking his back for his family, the least a wife and kids could do is show some level of appreciation. But even if it's not happening, he's not going to go out there and go and get a divorce. He's going to continue breaking his back, which is why there is such a low life expectancy for men. This is a conversation that many of you guys really don't want to have, but we have to have this. We have to have this conversation. We don't live as long as you do because we bear a huge brunt of the load of our family on our backs, just so that you can cite irreconcilable differences in the courts and get half of everything. A man is working hard so that the family can get 100% of everything. But because you're not happy, because you're not fulfilled, because your husband isn't stimulating you right, and I'm not talking about intimately, because he's not, dancing around like a court jester for you, now you want to leave the marriage. Now you feel like you have to graduate, shout out to T. Mowry, from your marriage. And now the legacy that you guys were building, the legacy for your family, for your kids, your grandkids, the properties you guys would have had, like all of that is now gone because you wanted to cite irreconcilable differences because your husband was working so hard to try to provide for your family, right? That he might have missed the opportunity to be romantic at a specific moment when you could have helped out with that. But you're citing irreconcilable differences. This is a hard pill for all of us to swallow. Because a man isn't afraid to get married. He goes into marriage knowing that I am going to hold my family down no matter what. What he's afraid of is I'm going to hold my marriage down, or he's going to hold his marriage down no matter what. Break his back, work 70 to 80 hours a week to make sure that his family does not go without, only for his wife to leave. Because the law makes it so easy enough for her to cite irreconcilable differences. Now, if you want to leave, I'm not saying stay. My hope was that you would work it out. But I'm not saying stay if you're not completely happy. I think that happiness is a farce. Modern times is telling you that you need to be happy. That's priority. But what I'm saying is, if you want to leave, if you want out of the marriage and the thing that you guys both built, then just go. Male or female, go. Go leave and leave everything behind, and you start over again. You build that up again. And leave everything for the person that wanted to stay in the marriage, for the family that wanted to stay intact. That's not illogical. And I say this with all due respect and love in my heart. If you think that you can take something that was being built for a family and leave and take half of it for yourself, there's something wrong with you. And you are very selfish, whether you're a man or a woman. And I say that in love. I don't want to come off like judgmental. I don't, and I hate. But hear what I'm saying. You're building something together. And you have kids, future grandkids, that could benefit from the legacy that you guys are building together. And because you want out of the marriage, or you're unhappy and you don't want to do the work to make sure that happiness remains in your marriage, you're going to take half of everything that you guys built together for your legacy, for yourself? I'm sorry. I might be a little passionate right now. Please forgive me. But I don't understand. I don't understand that. Well, I do understand, to be perfectly honest with you. I wish people wouldn't think that way. I really do. And I think that the reason why society is the way it is, the reason why there's so many fatherless homes today, the reason why divorce is so prominent today, because we live under this farce that everything is about our individual happiness. So men aren't getting married for selfish reasons. Not all. I'm saying for the most part. Not all men, but some men are not getting married for selfish reasons. They just want to live their life and enjoy the singleness and go from girl to girl. Right? Some women are getting married for selfish reason, and they're getting a divorce for selfish reason. Some men too getting a divorce for selfish reasons. For crying out loud, one of my favorite singers growing up, her husband bounced with half her stuff. Like how selfish is it? Now let me preface this, because some of you ladies are gonna be like, well, what I'm saying is this: if you want out of something that you guys built together, then leave. Then leave. Otherwise, stay in it and let's fix whatever it is that we need to fix. Don't just leave and take half of everything that you guys built for your family. Like, if you really want out, then go and leave and leave everything and start all over again. But that's just my opinion, okay? That's just my opinion. It just doesn't make sense to me. But either way, so now a man, after he's done the work, because it takes a lot for a man to commit. It takes a lot for a man to commit. And this is cross-cultural, cross-generational. When a man makes a commitment, and I'm talking about a grown man who has come into his own. When he makes a commitment to a woman, when he makes that commitment, he's in. He's in. He's all in. And men know that about themselves. It's innate. And what they fear is all the hard work they put in, the commitment that they made, the sacrifices, all of that will just go to the wayside because she may want out, citing something as minuscule as irreconcilable differences. And everything that he's built, the commitment that he's made, crumbles. Men don't want that. Men don't want that. And don't go into the whataboutisms. What about if he cheats? What about if he's cheating, right? If he's abusive, if he's doing all those bad things and you want out for that reason, I by all means, your safety is vital. And constant infidelity is going to do a number on you as a woman. Okay, so I would never tell you to stay in a marriage. But even in infidelity, I believe that things can be worked out. If both parties want to work it out, it can be worked out. It can be worked out. But biblically speaking, if any one of the married couple steps out of the marriage and have intimate relationships with somebody else, then they have allowances according to scripture to get a divorce and possibly remarry afterwards. So, but even then, God still doesn't delight in divorce. He does not. But today, we're not thinking about God's delight because look at it. The institution of marriage is so beautiful that Paul, the Bible, equates the marriage relationship between a husband and his wife to the relationship between Christ and his church. Now, let's be reflective for a minute. Those of you guys who are believers out there, those of you guys who were believers out there, who are struggling with their faith and you guys want to come back, hear me out. How many times did you disappoint your Savior by your actions? Where is your Savior still? He's still your bridegroom. He's still your groom. He's still there. But modern times tells us that if somebody makes us unhappy in the marriage, go. Your happiness is paramount. What they don't tell you is 6 months down the line, you go into a deep depression. A lot of people go into deep depression. Then you start thinking, maybe I should have just remained in the marriage because the grass isn't always greener. Grass isn't always greener. Husbands that step out of their marriage know that. They get a taste of what they thought was greener grass and all the drama that comes with it, and then they feel sorrowful. And for many of them, it's too late. The wife has checked out and said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to be with the man that cheats. But there are situations where the man's not cheating. Maybe he's doing something like not being romantic. And maybe that's an effect of the cause, which is he is working so hard to make sure that his family is good. Now, instead of encouraging the man or making the man do everything, work hard, break his back, bring the money, pay all the bills, pay all the school fees, all that stuff, pay all that. And on top of that, having to be romantic to you, otherwise you'll leave. How about you guys work as a team, communicate with one another and say, listen, I would love to have dinner this specific night. Would you mind making the plans, babe? And he'll say, yeah, I'll make some plans. Let's do that. Let's do that. But nah, some of us modern times, this world, this modern energy that's around the enemy, who has tricked us into this modern thought process, is telling us that your marriage is not that important. What you need to do is you need to be happy. And if this man who is breaking his back for you is not making you happy, then Peter down the block just might make you happy. Wait, that's so funny because I said Peter and Kim Kardashian left Kanye for Pete Davidson's. No, either way. But I'm just saying Peter, all right? Peter isn't trying to be faithful. Peter just wants, to get a quick fix. Your husband wants you to be okay. And sometimes he may just have a lapse of judgment and say, you know what? I'm neglecting my home. I need to go back and revamp some things so that I'm not neglecting my home. Yes, they're good. They're living in this nice house and I'm working 80 hours a week so that they can afford to live there. But I need to be a little bit more romantic with my wife. Let's work that out. Let's talk to a marriage counselor and let's work this out. But nah. He made this commitment. He's breaking his back for his family. And he goes home to find that the bags are packed. After working a job and flying home because he went to work on his marriage. Shout out to Tyrese. And and everything's packed up and moved out of the house. Y'all believe that men are non-committal. No. The problem is men are very committed. They just don't want to be committed to the person that's going to break their heart and ruin their lives. That's what it is. So it's not. What's going on? Auntie Karen is in the house. What's going on, Auntie Karen? Let me Auntie Karen's out here acting up. That's my aunt. I love you. Yeah. But hear me out. Hear me out. This is not, it's not popular. Us talking about this is because you're told to just leave. Be happy. Go. It's not about building families anymore. It's about the individual. It's about the individual. So the issue isn't that men are afraid of marriage. It's not that men are non-committal. They don't want to be committed. The actual issue is that they're afraid that you're going to leave them and take everything from them after they've worked so hard to build a family and a legacy for not just you as a wife, not just your kids, but your grandkids and great-grandkids and so on and so forth. That's what men are actually afraid of today because, again, legally, it's extremely easy today to get a divorce in almost every state in the union, maybe in Western civilization. So they ask the question, why should I get married and risk all of this? Well, I'll tell you this much. Young man, you need to vet properly. Young lady, you need to vet properly. Spend time getting to know the person that you're trying to date. And don't let them trick you and gaslight you into believing that you need to prove yourself to be this amazing provider in the first dating stages. That's nonsense, as my son is calling me. That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. All right? Don't let, and here's the thing, right? And I'm going to say this, all right? I'm going to say this. You got ladies are going to hate me for this because it's not all of you. Trust me, it's not all of you. Okay? But if you are looking to get to know a young lady and you suggest a museum or a coffee date and something like that, and she says, absolutely not, I do not do coffee dates. I am worth more than that. I would recommend saying, you know what, then this may not be the right thing for us because I'm just trying to get to know you. That means that could be a good indicator, not all women, but for many women, it could be a good indicator that she's looking for a man to stimulate her for the rest of her life. That means you're going to constantly be living your life doing for her, and you getting very little return on that. There's no reciprocation there. Like the fact that a woman wants you to spend a whole lot of money in the beginning to impress them says a lot about her. And it also says a lot about you if you're willing to do it. If for somebody you don't know, think about it, guys. And then you get into this marriage, you get into this relationship, and then it leads to marriage. And the expectation there is you have to keep, because here's the thing, and I was told this by somebody I was getting to know years ago. How you start is how you have to maintain and finish this relationship. I remember that. And I'm like, at first I was like, what does she mean by that? And I get it. I get it. Because if you start your relationship always looking to impress and stimulate her while she does absolutely nothing, and I'm not talking about intimately, I'm just saying nothing, you're going to have to maintain that into your marriage. And then if you can't do that anymore, if you get burnt out, if you get stressed, depressed, hurt, you can't work anymore, right? She's gone. So you got to vet properly in the very beginning. That's one of the things that will help you from fearing divorce because you've done the work prior to marriage to vet this woman effectively to determine whether or not she is a good wife, according to Proverbs 31. You've done the work. It's not just about what she looks like. It's not just about her waist to hip ratio and her facial features, the lace front she's rocking. Let me stop. Right? It's not all about that. It's about her character and who she is. Who she is. What does her character say? And you can't get to know her character necessarily on a $500 dinner date in the first 2-3 dates. You can tell a lot about her character if you recommend a nice, intimate mom and pop coffee shop or museum or something like that. And she says, absolutely not. I'm worth more than that. Okay. You have a wonderful life. And I hope that you find what you're looking for. And then you find somebody that is willing to appreciate the effort and the gestures you're putting in at the very beginning, because after that, because that's only going to add, or that appreciation will only compound and grow exponentially as you continue to do for her. Because now she's appreciating what you're doing and reciprocating that because you found a good one, willing to go on a coffee date to just have a conversation to get to know one another. No strings attached, no big investments, and no expectations in the process. Now you're on the right path of finding out if this person is worth marrying because you've done the work prior. So at that point, you don't have to worry about divorce. So ladies, if you're watching this and you're in a relationship and you're afraid that your man is non-committal, he is delaying proposing, you have to ask, now it could be him. He could be the issue. He very well might just want to be out in the streets playing. Okay? But if he is a good man and he's trying to vet you and you guys have been seeing each other for a while and he has not popped the question yet and you want him to, as I take a sip of this, you might have to ask yourself, what is it about me that's causing him not to propose and marry me? Because if he's been in a relationship for a long time, he's made investments into this relationship. He wants to be committed to you. He wants to be committed to you. But he has a concern that he sees. There's certain flags. It may not be necessarily red, but it's probably a yellow, orange, sort of off yellow, moving into orange and about to be red. That he's like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. Because if I marry her and this is not addressed, which he needs to communicate with you and address, it's going to lead to divorce. And I don't want that. Like men are so committed that they will ride out a relationship till the very, very, very end. Right? But not get married because they're afraid of divorce and everything that they can potentially lose. So you just got to ask yourself that question reflectively. Am I saying it's your fault? No. What I am saying is just have that, just think. See a therapist, see a counselor, and ask, I've been in this relationship for 2.5 years, and he hasn't popped the question yet. So I just want to do some self-reflection and do a self-assessment on why it is that he's not doing it. Is it me or could it just be him? What are the things about me that he might not have that honest conversation? Because it could be that he loves you. He wants to be with you. He wants to be with you. But there's some things about you that's causing him to say, you know what? If this continues, she's going to want to leave me. She's going to divorce me. And then what? Not a popular conversation, but it needs to be had. It needs to be had. So I don't want to belabor what's going on, Uncle Jake? I see you in the chat. All right. I don't want to belabor this. All right. Thank you, CP the Artist. I see you in Instagram Live. And shout out to everybody watching on IG Live, watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook, and watching on Twitter X. We are streaming in 4 platforms right now. 4. And you guys are the true true MVPs of this live stream for sure. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I appreciate everybody on YouTube leaving comments. I see you guys. Thank you so much. All right. But with that being said, I want you guys to really do some self-reflective work. And if you're a man, the work that you need to do is to do some self-identification, self-reflection on what's causing you not to pop the question. And if you are afraid of divorce, that if you marry this woman, she's going to divorce you, you probably need to leave the relationship. Sever the relationship and move on. Ladies, and to you, if you've been dating 2.5, 3 years and he has not popped the question yet, or he's reluctant to, and you know he loves you, but there's some things that's causing him to have reservations about marrying you, you got to do some self-reflective work as well and say, what is it about me that's causing him not to want to marry me? And then identify if those things are character things that you can change or things that you can't change. And then if you can't change, you need to move on. What's going on, Shanita? Glad you're here. Glad you're here, sis. And Chavis is lighting up the chat. Yes, and please hit that like button, please. Smash that like button like my brother Chavis says. I want to see healthy marriages. I want to see marriages thrive in every single cultural community, especially the African-American Black community in America, because it just seems like we are having a hard time with this. And if we want to see our communities get better, then we got to be able to foster strong marriages, because strong marriages produce strong communities. It just does. So with that being said, I'm glad you guys joined me for this live stream. And do me a favor, if you made it this far in the video and have not liked this video, whether you're watching it on IG Live, Twitter X, Facebook, or YouTube, especially YouTube, because YouTube pays me a little bit of money for doing this. Hit that like button and share this video out. I'll greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for... Oh, wait. You probably can't hear it. You may be able to hear it now. Thank you guys so much for watching the live stream and making it this far. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Marriage is a beautiful thing, and it should not be entered in lightly or irreverently, as I say when I officiate weddings. Okay? But the vetting process is the most important part of getting to know somebody. Determining compatibility and identifying if the person that you're marrying is willing, no matter what, to work it out. Because if you are in a marriage, if you're in anything, and the person next to you got your back, is your ride or die regardless of what happens, you know that you're going to enter any conflict and come out on top because you're in it together. The Bible says that a 3-cord strand is not easily broken. Husband, wife, and the Lord. Not easily broken. So make sure you guys keep God in the mix. Okay? What's going on, Mr. Baker? Glad you're here. Keep God in the mix, okay? Keep God. 15 years of marriage, my brother Ricky. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We need to see that kind of longevity in our communities of marriages lasting. We need to, okay? So I want to see your marriages succeed. And shameless plug, if you're in a situation where you just need to speak to somebody about, your marriage and you need help, or let's say you have a decent marriage, you just need a marriage tune-up. You just need to talk and just, make your marriage even better. Go to my website, coachingbydre.com, and you can book a session with me. I'm going to leave that there. That's totally up to you, okay? Totally up to you. Now, if you made it this far and have not liked the video, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. It'll let you know that this is a video worth sharing out and helps with the YouTube algorithm, Facebook algorithm, Twitter algorithm, all those IG and all that stuff. Also, if you would like to support the channel, there's a couple of ways to do so. You can hit the membership button down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on any other platforms, you can go to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values. You can give monthly to this podcast here that will allow it to keep going. We have very inexpensive tiers that won't break the bank. You won't even miss it. But every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. So if you would like to support the channel, You get the membership button down below, or you can hit the go to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values, or you can hit the super thanks or the super chat when I'm live, and the super thanks afterwards. A couple of you guys have been hitting the super thanks after the video's been live, so I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. You guys are sponsoring this channel by doing that as well. One of my favorite ways to help support the channel is by picking up some merch. We have some pretty decent coffee mugs and coffee can, all kinds of accessories, shirts like and hoodies like, but did you pray about it and things like that. Your support of purchasing this will also help the channel keep going as well, and you get something in return. So it's not like you're just giving me free money. Okay, you're actually supporting a business. All right, I'm trying to do this entrepreneur thing on the side while I'm teaching and doing marriage counseling, all that stuff, trying to do all of it. All right, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Love you all. And until the next upload, a live stream, I'm out. Peace. Get that music going.